Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we're just going to be looking at a few things. Alright, we're going to be looking at how to actually utilize this strategy. What key levels are you going to be looking to pick high probability trading results? Okay, and then how to identify those high probability trading results and capitalize on them. Okay, because if you can't wait for high probability trading setups, what is going to end up happening is you're going to use those good trading setups to pay up your bad trading, because your bad trading, you understand, to be at a break even because you were not patient enough to wait for good trading setups. Okay, so this week is almost off and I've only taken one trade, and that was gold, yeah, and it was a very profitable one. So it was a good sell. So I've been waiting for good trading setups, and today is Wednesday, and I'm sure I'm going to be having a lot of them. Okay, why? Because patience pays. All right, so now how do you identify good trading setups? All right, what key levels are you going to be looking at to actually pick out this key good trading setups? All right, so first we are I've traded this pair maybe twice this year. Okay, once this year, which I can remember, we took a buy somewhere around here. Okay, why? Because we have our setup somewhere here. So we took a buy, so, and it played out. All right, we waited all the way for the market to come to here, and then we bought, exited somewhere there. All right, so now if you check, this low has been what? Invalidated. Okay, so if this low has been what? Invalidated, there's a break, which means there's a shift. Okay, it's a shift in market structure. Okay, so therefore this becomes what? My supply area. Okay, so therefore this becomes my supply zone. Okay, so since that's my supply zone, what am I going to be looking for? Okay, I'm going to be looking for what exactly? I'm going to be looking for my trading setup at this supply zone. Okay, and right now, if you scale down to a smaller time frame, I have this 4 hours candle, which indicates that there is what? Bearish momentum. Okay, there is bearish what? Momentum on that area. Okay, so I don't want to be selling here. Why? Because if I sell here, with what I'm seeing, the candle already gives me that notion that, okay, this market is ready to sell, and from the look of things, it might actually sell to take out this low. Okay, but I don't want to take chances. Okay, so I just want to target this low. Right, so how do I capitalize on this trading setup? So I'm just going to go ahead and just delete this. All right, so how do I capitalize on this trading setup? I'm going to go to the smaller time frame, like the 15 minutes, and look for my sweep of liquidity, break of structure to the downside, and wait for, okay, I'll wait for my break of structure to the downside. So right here, can we see those things? Right here, we can see that there's a sweep of what? Liquidity right there. Okay, we have our liquidity sweep, right? We have our liquidity sweep. All right, so do we have a break of structure? Yes, we have a break of structure to the downside. Because why? Because this market created a low, created a high, and then we have this break of structure right here. You have a break of structure. All right, so that's our break of structure. Okay, so since that's a break of structure, all right, let me just save this. All right, so we have our break of structure, and then what happens? We have this pullback to create our structural liquidity. So we have this break, and then we have a pullback to create structural liquidity. And right here, we have our second break of structure. So with that, with that in mind, okay, I've spotted what a high probability trade. So what am I looking for? We have our second break of structure right here. So what am I looking for? I just want this market to actually trade, take out this. You see, I'm going to show you something on the 5-minute time frame. So there are different liquidity spots which this market will eventually take out. So you can see all these liquidity areas. Okay, so all these are liquidity areas up to here. So I want the market to actually take out those liquidity areas before I enter my sell. So I might likely set a sell limit somewhere here, and then stop loss just small. All right. Why? Because I want to actually make the boost, the best from this trade. Okay. I just want to make the most from this particular setup which the market presented. So liquidity, yeah. So I want to make the most from this particular setup, okay, without wasting that particular opportunity. So those are liquidity areas. So I might take my sales from there, stop loss just slightly above, and targeting here, okay, targeting here, targeting there. So this is how to actually capitalize on a good setups the market presents. Okay, so this chart is just too tiny. All right, so this is how to actually capitalize on the good setups. Okay, so we're gonna go through my watch list, everything. I'm just gonna break it down for you guys. Okay, so this is it. This is exactly what I want. I want the market to actually kick to that area. It might happen during the New York session, but there are a lot of trades set up. I just need one trade, just one that would give me exactly what I want. Okay, so let's look at others. Okay, this one, yeah, is still okay. We have the market breaking structure to the upside. It's still okay, but I don't actually like trading as a pair. Okay, so you guys can clearly see it that it's still a good setup. Okay, it's still a good setup, 50 pips, and depends on what happens. Okay, depends on what happens. We need confirmations to actually get into any of this trade. Okay, so now let me break this trade down for you guys. So we have what is it now. Let's look at it from the higher time frame perspective. Let's look at it from the 4 hours. All right, where is it coming from? I think I will avoid this. Okay, well, it's just a short-term buy. All right, where is it coming from? I can't actually identify that. Okay, where is it coming from? I think I will just avoid this one. Okay, but it's a short-term buy. It's a short-term buy, which it still has that tendency to play out. But since I can't identify where it's coming from, okay, can't identify where it's coming from. We have a sweep here. Okay, break of structure. If it has taken out this liquidity here before pulling up, I think it would have been good. So, but for now, I'll avoid this. Okay. So, yeah. So now, looking at this one too, I might not trade it. Okay, I might not trade it. So, I might not trade this one, but it has the criterions we're actually looking for. Now, where is it coming from? Where is it coming from? So now we see that okay, there's liquidity being taken out here, something like that. Let's go to the 1 hour time frame here, so that I can be able to identify where this market is coming from before considering to take sales from this. Right, my charts are slow in loading up. All right, so where is it coming from? Where is it coming from? All right, for now, I can actually identify that, okay, this market swept that area. There's a sweep here. All right, there's a sweep here. And this market actually went to this supply zone, okay? Tapped into that supply zone, okay? And then there's actually a break of structure here. There's actually a break of structure here. All right, so since there's a break and Definitely, since there's a break of structure here, definitely, where is this market headed? It's headed to take out this low. So the market is actually headed to what? To take out this low. Okay. So since the market is actually headed to take out this particular low, what happened? I now look for my setup. So, and the setup already printed, the trading setup already printed itself. Okay, so we have what our sweep of liquidity. You don't just take trades at random. Okay, you must try to identify what the market is doing. We have our sweep of liquidity, which is this. All right, that's our sweep of liquidity. All right, so and then we have a break of structure we have a pullback. There's no break of structure yet. For this particular one, we have only one break, but what we have here is what an internal liquidity. Okay, we have only one break of structure, so that makes it what a low probability setup. Okay, so this makes it a low probability setup. Okay, so depends. For this one, I will need greater confirmations. Okay, so this is a low probability setup. All right, so we have an internal liquidity pool. Okay, and then we have a break of structure to the downside. So it depends on how the market reacts to this area. That's when we will actually sell and take our profit here. So it depends, right? It still depends on me seeing some things, and I also need a confirmation within that area. So this is a low probability setup. Okay, all right, so this one here, it's let's look at the daily. All right, so let's look at the daily for GBP Australian dollar. All right, so for the daily time frame, this market is actually what pushing to the upside. So you can see that the trend is what in an uptrend. All right, so that alone is enough. Okay, so now let's go to the 4 hours time frame. So looking at the 4 hours time frame, we have a low, we have a high. All right, there was a break of structure there, and what happened? Market came, took the liquidity resting below this area. So we have our sweep of liquidity right here. So since we have our sweep of liquidity right here, what next are we looking for? We're looking for a break of structure to the upside. So do we have a break of structure? Yes. All right, so we have a break of structure to the upside right there. Okay, so we have a break of structure. Do we have a pullback? All right, yes, we have a pullback to this area right here. So this becomes what our structural liquidity. All right, let me just go ahead and delete that. So this is a high probability trade. Okay, because everything is spelled out clearly. Okay, this is a very high probability trade. We have our liquidity pool area there, right? So and then we have a second break of structure right here. Okay, so this is how to actually identify your high probability trading setup. Okay, where's market headed? Where is it coming from? You have to actually identify that. So this market is bullish. All right, this makes it a very, very high probability setup. Okay, so right here, this is my POI. I'm looking at this area. Why? Because this the structural liquidity and the sweep of liquidity are almost very close. Okay, so my structure, my supply area, my POI, my point of interest is actually this demand zone right here. So I wait for the market to come to this area here and then gives me a confirmation, then I'll just take the trade. My stop loss is going to be very tight, okay, so that I can make the most from this particular trade. I don't have to ride it all the way to the upside. Okay, I'll just probably go for because my stop loss is tight, I will increase my risk. So I'm just waiting. So what's the next setup on our list? All right, the BTC USD is another trade which I'm looking at. Okay, all this trade I have actually identified them to be short-term bullish. Okay, for the BTC USD, this is kind of a funny one. Okay, it's more or less the same thing like the like the GP Australian dollar. So right here we have the market. The market created what? The market created a high, then created a low. Okay, and then created a high too. All right, and then we have a sweep, and then we have a break of structure. All right, so now let's look at this. Let's look at this. Why am I considering this trade? Okay, there are mainly two things why I'm considering this trade. All right, why? Because I'm considering this trade because when I break it down, guys, you'll be able to see reason with me. All right, so right here, this here, it's actually a demand area. Okay, so this is a demand area, right? So since that's a demand area, all right, we have a sweep of liquidity right here. All right, you guys can see that. So this makes this trade a high probability trade. Okay, all right, this is a liquidity sweep. All right, we have a break of structure. Let's use that high there. We have a break of structure. We have a break of structure to the upside. All right, we have a break of structure to the upside. Okay, so since we have a break of structure to the upside, we have a pullback to what provides structural liquidity. Okay, we have a pullback to provide structural liquidity, guys. So this is our structural liquidity. Okay, and then we have our second break of structure right here. All right, so invariably this market is headed where? Here. Okay, it is headed there. All right, so we came back to tap into this area, which is BOI. Okay, I'm not in this trade yet. Okay, but I'm going to show you the reason why I'm actually planning to go into this trade, and my reason is actually making it more probable. You understand? You don't have to always jump into trades, because if you jump into trades, you end up, no matter how good your strategy is, without you being patient and evaluating the whole thing before you enter, you're always going to be at the break even. You'll make profit. Okay, so now we go to the 15 minutes time frame. We can go to the 1 hour time frame. I think I prefer the 15 minutes. All right, so right here we can actually see, all right, I have my trigger, okay, my alert set. Okay, we can see that we have a sweep of liquidity right here. All right, we have a sweep of liquidity right here. There's only one strategy I use for gold. I'll also be showing you guys. So we have a sweep of liquidity here. We have a break of structure right here. So we have a pullback. Okay, this provides our structural liquidity. Okay, so this provides my structural liquidity. All right, since that's my structural liquidity, I don't like the whole of these colors, I think. So this is my structural liquidity. Okay, all right, so and here is my second break of structure. Okay, so now we can see that we have a break of structure, we have a liquidity sweep here. Let me just go ahead and label that. Then we have a break of structure here. Then we have a second break right here. Okay, so now what are we waiting for? I almost thought yesterday that this was actually coming to take the structural liquidity, okay, but it did not get to there, so no entry. So I'll just wait for this market to actually come here, give me my confirmation candles. Okay, these colors are just too much. Let me use something like that. Okay, so I'll just wait for the market to actually come here. All right, then I will take my trades. Okay, so it's all about patience. Okay, whichever of this trade play out, if they all play out at once, there's always a grade to it, a setup. You understand? There's always a grade. This is a very high grade setup. Okay, this is a grade A setup, so I wouldn't miss this particular one. I wouldn't miss USD chef. Okay, so those ones are my key priority. And then let's look at another one on the list. Okay, so as days goes by, I'm adding to my list and then I'm reviewing them day by day. All right, so gold is on my PY. This is crazy. All right, I don't know, should I be taking this now? It all depends on a few things. Okay, so gold is on my POI. This is the only strategy I use for gold. Okay, let's look at the 30 minutes time frame. All right, so it depends on if I get a confirmation. All right, so right here you can see that the only thing I trade mostly now is gold. Okay, we have some rejections on from there, so those rejections actually make the market to actually sweep out this area and not respect it. Okay, so now I'm going to show you guys an example of something, okay, on the 5 minutes time frame. So exactly what I'm expecting to see from here before actually taking this buys to where I'm actually targeting. Okay, so right here, let's go to the 3 minutes time frame together. Okay, so I'm not going to risk much on this particular trade, should in case it gives me exactly what I want. So let me look at the time. Remaining 3 minutes for the previous first 5 minutes candle to close. All right. So now look at this. Okay, we have our breaker block to the left here. Okay, we have our breaker block to the left here. We have our breaker block. Okay, since that's a breaker block, all right, and then we have a market structure shift right here. Okay, I have a market structure shift. All right, so here's our market structure shift. All right, market structure shift. Okay, and then we have our structural liquidity right here. Okay, which provides us with the imbalance. Okay, and then we have a breaker structure right here. Okay, so I have a BOS right there. So what happened? The market came, took out this structural liquidity and tapped into it and gave me a good 3 minutes candle confirmation. Okay, so with that, we enter. So that went up. So that's the reason why I took this trade. You understand? So I'm actually expecting the same thing here. All right. So, but this particular case, we have it on the 30 minutes. We have the breaker block on being on the 30 minutes. So if you look at the 30 minutes here, you have your breaker block. Okay. So now let's go to the 5 minutes. On the 5 minutes time frame, we have our imbalance of structural liquidity. Okay. So remaining few minutes for remaining like a minute for this particular trade to play out. So I'm actually waiting to take it. So I'm going to take it in 1 minute if the candle closes like that. If it doesn't, I'll still wait. I think it's losing validity. I need something solid, okay, to actually take it. That's not enough. That's not enough. I need something more. Something that indicates what momentum, okay? Something that indicates momentum. So while we wait, that's not enough. Let me look at my 3 minutes time frame. 3 minutes is good. I need something more, something more, something more. I'll soon be in. So you see why it's good to actually be patient. So this setup is what invalidated, okay? It's invalidated, right? So wait for something more. It can still give us a confirmation though. It can still give us a confirmation. Patience is always the key. So that's that. So the next trade setup which I have is this particular one. This one is actually really nice. Okay, we have this clean trading setup. Okay, we have a low being created. Okay, we have a break of structure, right? And then that gives us what? A sweep of liquidity. And then we have a second break of structure. We have our break of structure right here. And then we have a pullback. This pullback creates what? Structural liquidity. And then we have a second break of structure. All right. So this is a very perfect trading example. And I've shown you guys how to actually spot your high probability trading setup. Okay. And also, guys, I also showed you guys the VIX, the strategy which I use for gold. So guys, that first I studied how the market was actually coming to this area, okay, and then it gave us a false candle, okay. So I told you guys all of that. So the same principle which I applied here, okay, but when it got to here, I looked at the whole scenario of how the market approached the area and the kind of candles it printed on the hourly time frame before coming to that area. I was able to come to the conclusion that, okay, this guy is not actually going to respect my, my area of interest. Okay, it can still give me a good candle confirmation, but okay, can still give me a good candlestick confirmation, but I'm not just ready to fall in for the market tricks. All right, so you understand, you have to train yourself, to be disciplined enough. All right, I don't have any other breaker block around. So for now, so I think I will let this one go. You understand? I'll let this one go and then wait for my high janded 3D setups. Okay, so I don't want to gamble. You understand? We don't gamble here. So we don't gamble, fam. We don't gamble. So looking at it from the 5 minutes, the 5 minutes gave us a very weak candle. Okay, it doesn't have momentum. So with that, we just have to avoid something that is not in alignment with how we trade. Okay, we just have to avoid anything that is not in alignment. See how it's dropping. So guys, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more and more wonderful contents like this that will help to elevate your trading journey and take you to the next level where you want to be. So hit the like button, subscribe to this YouTube channel for more and more wonderful contents like this. Stay blessed, fam.